Just let your shoulders drop. It's very light, obviously, a roller. It's not a heavy piece of equipment, but just imagine it's a bit heavier and that your shoulders are dropping, and then bring it up past your face, and with that you want the width of the roller so that you're not holding it halfway through up the roller, and I want you to shrug your shoulders up and then let them travel back down again. Do 3 of those, so just warming up our shoulders, let the shoulders drop, 1 more, and then drop your shoulders and lower your arms back down. And then we're going to bring the roller up again, and this time rotate. So you're going to feel as if you're pushing with your feet to turn your body, keeping the roller in the same position, and then push with your feet to bring yourself back. Push with your feet to turn your body to the other side and back. You're going to do 2 more, just like a spiral coming from your feet all the way to your shoulders. And then once you've done that, lower your arms down, and feeling the roller a little bit heavier than it is, soften your knees. You've got a little bend in your knees, and start to roll down. Thinking of the roller rolling with you, coming down to the floor. See if you can just tap the floor with the roller, and then roll back up again, and straightening your knees, lift the roller up to the ceiling. So we're going to bring it up. It's just coming above your head. You're looking forward, by the way. You're not looking up at the ceiling. And do that once again. Just lowering your arms, softening your knees, rolling your spine down. Allowing the roller to touch the floor. Roll up, scoop up your tummy. Straighten your legs and keep your eyes forward, but lift that roller up. Okay, now what you want to do is start to think of your back arching just a little bit, just behind the shoulder blades. And you're going to lift your chest so that the roller sort of travels slightly behind you. And then bring yourself back to vertical. You're going to do 2 more of those, just really reaching with the roller, not swinging it behind you, staying in line with your head. And bring your eyes forward. 1 more, breathe in. As you breathe up, bring your arms forward, lower your roller down, nod your head forward and roll your spine down. Just soften the knees. And then roll up, straightening your knees once again. Bring your head up. Okay, the next exercise is a little bit more difficult. Just lift your arms so that they're in line with your shoulders, okay? Just so you have the roller sort of in line with your collarbones. And you're going to bend your knees and go into a squat. So your bum is just in line with your knees. So you're not going any lower than that. And then push with your back flat and bring yourself back. So you're leaning forward. Just try and keep that roller in line with your collarbones. And then push to come up with a flat back. Do that 1 more time, so you just stick your bum out, drop your tail down. You might have to check whether your bottom's in line. And then press and lift, and then lift your arms up and lower them down, and roll down once again. So just let your arms hang. And then roll yourself back up. So you want to bring your roller up, engage your tummy, pull your ribs in, and now as you go into your squat, try and keep your arms in line with your ears. So really working your shoulders so that those arms are lifted higher. If you can't do it, lower your arms. Then push up with your feet and see if you can come up again. See if you can do 2 more. So the arms in line with your ears, your tummy working, your ribs pulled in, your back flat as you go into your squat, and stand and lift. It's going to work your shoulders, by the way, in case you haven't noticed. Send your bottom out, and then lift up and lower your arms all the way down. Just take a nice big roll with your shoulders. All right, now you're going to put your roller down on the ground, that way around. And put you want to don't be too far forward, but just have one foot on either side, so you've got your feet on the floor and your ankles squeezing into the roller. Okay, so my roller wants to go off at an angle, but you're just going to hold that and have a little squeeze into your ankles. From here, you're going to roll down, and you're going to bring your hands onto the roller. Everyone should be able to reach the roller. If not, bend your knees. Right, you're going to take your left hand at the back, and you're going to take your right hand in front of it. So both sets of fingertips on my hand are facing the screen. You're going to round your back and just go into that little twist of your body, and then soften out and lift the hands and place them on the other side. Keep squeezing into that roller and round your back like you're doing a little cat. Bring your ribs more to the outside, and then soften your knees. Lift your hands, take them to the other side. So you're straightening, but your head's dropping between your hands, so you feel a little side bend on the outside and back. And then curl your tailbone under you, go to the other side. Bend your knees slightly, let your arms hang. Just roll up for a little stretch up. Bring yourself up. And then rolling down, you're going to put just your right hand on the top of the roller, or one hand. So as you come down, just place one hand on top of the roller, and you're going to lift the other arm to the ceiling, bending the outside knee, so you're reaching up and bringing your hand back down and swapping hands. So just twisting the body nicely, getting the opening shoulders and back. Do two more. Bring your arm up. Keep your other arm. Try not to just swing your arm behind you, guys. Think of your chest turning, your rib cage turning as you reach to the ceiling, not behind you. That's it. Great. Other side. Rotate. Think of the body turning, not the arms swinging. And then bring your arms back down. And just walk your hands further forward into that position at the end of the roller. Hold the roller. Bend your knees. Let your heels come away from the floor and come down into a squat again. So your heels are lifting. You're lowering your bottom down towards the floor. If your knees don't like it, don't go so far. And then press your heels down and round your back up. Look at your inner thighs. Now try and do that if you can without lifting your heels. Sticking your bottom out. If you can't lift your if you can lift your if you need to lift your heels, lift them. But otherwise drop them down. And then round your back and lift up your tummy. Let's do that one more time. Your bottom is not dropping below the level of your heels. You're just wanting that long, straight spine and the head lifted. And then round your back. And gently roll yourself back up. We're going to do a little bit of weight work. You want to lift them up to the ceiling. These weights are very light. You can use kilo weights if you want to work a little bit harder. Or, I don't know, even 1.5 kilos if you're a stickler. But I would say not more than 1.5 kilos. So reach up, feel your knuckles reaching up towards the ceiling. And then let your shoulder blades drop down. So this is the very beginning. You want to just feel your ribs dropping, your tail on the roller, your lower back dropping towards the roller. And then when you drop your shoulder blades, try and feel that they're sort of nuzzling, one on either side of the roller. Okay, can you do that one more time? Reaching up. And then just let your shoulder blades drop down. I will also say if you have rotator cuff issues, you probably don't want to be using weights at all. So just use your hands. Right, from here, let your elbows bend out towards the floor. And think of the elbows dropping and the weights being above your elbows, not out. So as if you're pushing the weights back up to the ceiling, reach up. And our elbows reach down. Breathe in. Push up with your knuckles. And down. And up. And down. It's much less about weightlifting with a light weight and much more about opening the shoulders. Right, for those of you who can get their elbows onto the floor, just let your elbows drop. If you can't, have them hovering above the floor. And now we're going to open the arms. So the backs of the hands come down towards the floor or onto the floor. Please make sure they're not above your shoulders, they're below your shoulder level. Keep your elbows down and just bring the weights up. So inhale as you let the backs of your arms drop. Now try and relax your shoulders, guys. Everybody just letting go through the arms. And then bring the hands back up. Let's have two more. Breathing in. And breathing out. Good, last one. Breathe in. And breathe out. Just keep the elbows in the same position. Now, let the backs of your hands come down onto the floor. Can you just check? Everybody glance left and make sure your weights aren't higher than your elbows so that they're going to be slightly lower. Glance right. Make sure your weights are slightly lower. You're on your palms. Now, hover the backs of your hands off the floor. Just the backs of your hands, and you'll feel the backs of your forearms come off the floor. And then push your back into the roller. So feel you're pushing your spine into the roller as you bring the whole arm up off the ground, like a big wing. And then you open the arm and see if you can bring first the elbow down. And then lift again. As I say, if it's too hard, just let the weights go. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Lovely. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Push your back into the roller. And then inhale, open the arms. And just relax once again. Right, from here, turn your palms to face the floor and bring your weights closer in towards you so that underneath your hands resting on them, and your elbows are slightly bent. Okay, so press down into your roller. Press your back into your roller and press your palms down into your weights, pushing your shoulders down. So you feel your shoulders sort of pressing, shoulder blades sort of pressing towards the roller. Now we've got a little balance challenge because the only support we've got, arm-wise, are our palms in the roller. Because we're now going to roll into the lower back. We're going to curl the tailbone underneath us, lowering, pulling our lower back into the roller, curling the tailbone under you, and uncurling. All right, can you do 3 of those? So you're pressing down into your weights, curling your tail under you. Watch that your shoulders don't roll inwards. Keep your shoulders rolled outwards so that you're getting as much width as possible. And then roll back down into the roller. Okay, now roll up to the bottom of your ribs, but keep the bottom of your ribs sort of pressing into the roller. Push your knees away. And then roll down into your roller and lengthen out through your tail. So rolling up to the bottom of the ribs, no further. Check that you're pushing your knees forward, that you've got a sense of your glutes working underneath. Wrap your hands around the weights and lift them up so that you're bringing them up towards the ceiling. And now you're going to lower one towards the floor and just slightly lower one back towards the floor behind you. So your arm only comes to your ear, no further. And then swap, keeping dead still on that roller. Moving the weights past each other. If you find any pinching in your shoulders, move your arms wider so that they're not too narrow, not pinching into the tendons in your arms. And just keep steady. Make sure your bottom isn't drifting down towards the roller. Good. Now, same thing. Bring your weights together this time. Press them together so that they're actually almost like one weight, and open your elbows. Now you're keeping your hips lifted and you're going to reach your arms back. Or if you're just not holding the weights, just clasp your hands together behind your head and forward towards your lap. Inhale. As you reach back, lift your hips up. As you reach forward, let your hips just drop a tiny bit. Press into your feet, lift your hips and reach back. Don't let your ribs come up, just your bum. And bring the arms forward. 2 more. Inhale, keep those glutes working, lift the hips. And forward, last one. 1 more, reach back behind you. And then bring the arms to the ceiling. Now your hips should be up, guys. Bend your elbows and see if you can bring your elbows down. Open your arms. Let the weight stay on top of your arms. And slowly roll your spine down. Bone by bone by bone by bone by bone. And just release. Now, in this position, could you just put the weights on the floor, but just flip them off? Place your palms down on the floor. You're going to let one knee flop and then the other knee follow it. So I'm going towards the screen. I'm going to turn my head to look towards my hand and push the roller away in the opposite direction. It's rolling out. And then I'm going to roll the roller back and bring my knees back. Okay, so the knee furthest from the screen flops out, then it flops, so it's flopping away from the screen. I'm turning my head to look to the hand, away from the screen, and I'm pushing the roller towards the screen, stretching the chest wall and the hips and the side of my waist, and then rolling that roller back. Other side. One knee flops, other knee flops, push the roller out. Push the roller back, bring the knees up, and do the other side. So flop the knee, and push. Watch that your hips don't lift. They're staying parallel to the floor, so that you get that stretch just above your hip bone, into your lower back, and then roll the roller all the way back in. Square yourselves off. Have a sense, now really important everybody, have a sense that your feet are really suckering onto the floor. Not gripping with your toes, but just that you've got something that's not slippery underneath your feet and you can pull yourself forward slightly. Then link your hands and put them behind the back of your head. Rest your head on the hands on the roller. And then bring your elbows up into a parallel position. Pull your ribs down, so you're breathing out and pulling your ribs down to lever yourself forward into an ab curl. Okay, make sure you're not twisting, and then carefully lower the vertebra of your spine onto the roller. Right, so it becomes very evident if you're crooked when you're on a roller. So you can feel all those little knobbly vertebrae coming off the roller, and then you want to feel them coming back onto the roller. So bring the elbows up so your arms are a little bit more parallel. Breathe out, pull your ribs down, and then as you curve forward, you're lifting the vertebra up off that roller. And then as you roll them down in sequence onto the roller. They're not very many vertebrae, just from the bottom of your neck up to down towards the middle of your shoulder blades. So breathing out, just curl forward. Your head is just resting in your hands. And then roll down and bring your head down. And just let your elbows flop out a little bit. And once again, bring the elbows forward and up and curl forward. Deepen that curl. And then roll back down and release the elbows out. Right, we're going to stay up there. So scoop up the elbows. Roll your spine forward. Deepen it and see now whether you can just take your shoulder blades away from the roller. Pull your tummy down and in. Reach forward with one hand. Reach forward with the other hand, arms parallel to the floor, and we're going into the hundreds. You want nice length out through the back of your neck, breathing in and out. And in and out, 20. And in and out, 30. And in and out, 40. And in and out for 50. And in and out for 60. I'm going to go up to 70. And breathe out and roll your spine down. Take a moment and just lift your arms up and let your ribs lift. Now bring the arms forward again. We're going to do the last 30 and we're going to add something. So as we curl forward, you're going to reach your fingertips forward, and on the first 5 you're going to lift your left heel. And as you breathe out, you press it down into the floor. Breathing in, other heel. And down. Now 5 up with the left and down. And 5 up with the right and down in that 5. And roll your spine down. And lift your arms up. Hundreds are much harder when you're on the roller. Reach them back. Bring your right hand behind your head. Well, for me, this is the hand furthest away from the screen. The other hand onto the floor, just away from your roller. And we're going to bring your body forward. You're going to bring that elbow up towards the ceiling that you're curling forward with. And you're going to give a little push with your hand, and you're going to twist your body so that you're looking at your fingertips. Push the roller away from you. And then roll back down, bringing your head down. So once again, curl forward and up. And then think of your elbow lifting towards the ceiling and keeping up towards the ceiling as you grasp your neck. Push with your hand so your roller moves away from you. And roll back down. So make sure the roller's moving, everybody. So once again, curl up. Twist, push the roller away from you, look at your fingertips, and then roll your spine all the way down, bring your head down, and swap hands. So the hand goes behind your head, you curl forward normally, you bring your elbow up towards the ceiling, and you twist, pushing with your hand to take the roller away from you. Now make sure you're looking at the fingertips on the floor, then roll your spine down. So that burning sensation you feel in your abs or your oblique muscles, as you open them at the back and use the front to bring you up and across, and then roll your spine down. Okay, one more. So curl forward into your obliques, pull the tummy down, roll your spine down, and bring your head all the way down. Place your hands on the floor. Right, from here we're going to keep the feet hip distance apart. Lean into your roller, so your lower back's leaning into the roller. Press into your hands. If you want to make this a little harder, a little bit more challenging, you just have your fingertips on the floor. If you want to make it less difficult, place your elbows and your hands right down. Okay, so we're going to do a knee fold. So first of all, as I've been trying to train you over the last few weeks, breathe out, pull your ribs down, and then fold your leg up. So you don't feel everything popping up away from the roller. Breathe in first, breathe out, pull the ribs down, pull yourself into the roller, and lower your foot down. Let's do the other side. So inhale, exhale, pull the ribs down, pull the tummy out, down, fold your leg up. Breathe in, and then as you pull the ribs down, lower your foot down. Try and get the toes down first, the ball and the heel. Great. 2 more. So exhale, fold. No hurry. Breathe in. Exhale, pull the ribs down and lower your foot down. Breathe in, breathe out, fold the other leg up. Good guys, leave it there this time. Pull your ribs down and see if you can fold the other leg up next to it. So you've got both legs up. And this time, I'd like you to bring your knees together, your feet together, insides of your legs together, and just bring your knees in closer. So it almost feels like your tailbone is going to curl off the floor. Engage your tummy, pull your ribs in and start to straighten your legs away from you, making sure they're going in line with that roller. Then breathe in and pull them right back towards your chest, as if your tailbone is going to come away from the roller. Then pull your ribs down and reach out again. Really lengthen, not too low anyone. Got to keep your lower back pulled towards the roller. Inhale, bring them back. Exhale, feel the tummy pushing the back into the roller as you reach. Good. Fold your knees back in. Okay, now we're going to keep our legs up. I want you to feel that lower back pressing into the roller. Keep your palms pressed down this time and separate your legs. Pull one knee, or let's pull the right knee really close in towards us and stretch the left leg away. Now this time you can lower your leg a little bit. Try and keep it from, you don't want your back to arch, and then fold your knee back in again. Pull that leg in a little closer and reach out with the other one, keeping your back pressed into the roller, backs of your shoulders everywhere. Elbows down or shoulders down, whichever you wish. Fold in. Don't let your shoulders hunch forward. And off you go again. Reach. And back. Fold the knee in. Reach out with the other leg. Fold both knees in. And this time bring your heels together, your toes apart like a frog position. So there's a gap, big gap between your knees. Heels are touching, eyes forward. And as you breathe out, push those legs away until your knees come together. And then inhale, pull them back. Exhale, push them up, pull the tummy down. Inhale, pull them back. Exhale, reach knees apart, please guys, when you bring them in. So pull your heels in, your knees need to be really wide, wider than your hips. And then reach out, last one. And then pull your legs back in, bring your knees back together, separate your legs and slowly lower one foot onto the mat. And then the other foot onto the mat. And then bring your arms in a little closer if you need to. So we're going up into our bridge position again. So organize your feet, organize your head, make sure it's not twisted. And then once again, curling your tailbone underneath you, roll your hips up, keeping your arms down on the floor. Right, from here, we're going to, just as I say, you need your feet in the right position. You don't want them too far away. And we're going to lift one heel up, keeping the ball of the foot down, and press it back down again. And then the other one. So you're alternating, lifting your heels. And you want to do 10 of those in your own time. Make sure your ribs don't pop up, guys. Let the ribs drop. That's it. 7, 8, 9. Keep your feet down on the floor, everybody. It's just your heel lifting. That's right. Now push both heels down. Both heels down. Keep both feet down. Squeeze your knees to the middle line. Squeeze them together. Hold them really tight together and lift your hips up a little higher. Okay, hold. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep the hips there, open the knees. Hold that position. Now press into your arms. See if you can press into your right foot. And remember the roller's going to move. Hover the whole of your left foot off the floor. Just hover it. Place it back down again. Let the roller move a little way to the other side. Press into the foot, hover the other foot off. And place it back down. Use your tummy. Try not to let your bottom drop too much. And do 2 more. So press and hover. It's not a big lift, it's just off the floor. And press and return. And engage your tummy and let the roller move. And press and hover the other foot off. Hamstring work. Lower your foot down. Roll your spine down. Slide one leg away from you until your leg straightens. Lift your other arm up to the ceiling and reach it back without a weight in it, just stretch. Now from here, bring your hand back to the ceiling and drag the heel back along the floor or the mat and bring it back. Other side. So slide the other leg out. Let your hip just open. Let your ribs lift. Breathe out, pull yourself into the roller, drag your heel back. Bring your arms back, your arm back. Do 2 more, so you're breathing in. Remember, this is the alternate arm. It's the opposite arm to leg. And then drag your heel back. Other side, breathe in, and your foot sliding along the floor. Breathe out, lean into your roller. Bring your arm and your leg all the way back. And place your hand down on the floor. Once again, we're going to float up the leg closest, or I'm going to do closest to the screen. Fold it up. Right. Pressing your fingertips down into the floor. Now try to keep your balance without using the whole of your arm. Imagine your other foot is glued onto the floor, so you feel the inner thigh of that leg. And feel your lower back press down into the roller. Okay, so I've lifted my elbows a little bit. If you get too wobbly, drop them back down again. Now let the leg in the air go out to the side. And then bring it back to center. Your other foot leg has to work really hard. Roll the leg out. You're taking it out into a bent knee fallout. And bring it back. Let's do that one more time. So the leg goes out, the tummy's working, and then bring it all the way back. Right. Drop your elbow of the lifted side onto the floor. Lift up the other arm to the ceiling. Soften your elbow. So your elbow is going to bend and you're going to take the arm and the leg out in opposition. Arm to one side, leg to the other. And then bring your arm and leg back up. So you've got a soft elbow, you've got a soft wrist. As you open, the other leg doesn't move. And return. Okay, watch your back doesn't arch. Press your back into the roller. And then bring the arm and the leg back. Keep them where they are. Reach the arm and the leg in opposition. Reach out. Reach back with the arm, out with the leg. Bring it back to center. Point to the ceiling. Let's go 2 more. Inhale, reach. Exhale, return. Let's do 1 more. Inhale, reach. Exhale, return, and place the hand you have in the air on the floor. Don't do anything with the leg. Lift up the opposite arm. Okay, so you've got same arm, same leg. Right, from here, reach back with the arm and out with the leg. Push your back into the roller. And back with the arm and the leg. For 2 more, lean your lower back into the roller. Lean your upper back into the roller. Last one. Reach. And then bring your leg back. And lower your leg down. Lower your hand down. And lift up the other leg. Alright? So, use your arm, or if you can use fingertips for this one, do, because we're going to do bent knee fall out on the other side. So the knee flops out. And back. So as you do this, you'll feel 2 sides of the abdominal wall working independently. So on the leg side and the rib side, of the other side of the body, just feel that pulling down the ropes really helps you to stabilize. So So in other words, breathing out will help you to stabilize. Okay, keep the leg there. Lift up the other arm. Just soften your elbow and your wrist. And as your leg goes out, so your arm goes out to oppose, and then bring the leg and the arm back. So inhale and exhale, or try to exhale and inhale. Doesn't really matter, but just give it a go. Different breathing. And then bring your leg back. Lift your arm up to the ceiling. Reach out with the leg and reach back with the arm. And then to the ceiling with the fingertips. Don't take the arms too low. Reach. Lower back in the roller, please, guys. Upper back in the roller. Back of your head on the roller. And again, reach out. And then bring your knee in. Lower your hand onto the floor. Lift your other hand up. So you now got the same side, same arm. If you're wobbly, walk your foot out further away from the roller. Okay, if you feel a little bit wobbly. And same side. For 3 of those. Let the roller move. You know, if necessary, let the roller roll a little bit to one side to help you. Okay, make sure that you feel, you know, comfortable, that it's not too wobbly, and then bring your arm back. See if you can lower your foot down first. Lower your arm down. Okay, let's go into that little stretch again, so your arms are wide, and you just roll the roller side to side, letting your knees flop to the same side, just as if you're doing a knee drop, as we do in class really often. Open your back. So it sort of nicely pummels the back of your shoulder blades. And then go the other way. Okay, this is the final bit we're going to be on our back, so just bear with me. Right, so I'd like you to lift any leg. Just lift one up. Okay? Lift any arm. And then lift up the other arm. Alright, just stay there. Drop your shoulders. Now just see if you can open your arms out to the side and then bring them back. So if you can do 2 with both arms opening. Walk your feet wider if you're struggling with balance. Widen your feet out. Now bring both arms back, just rest a second. See if you can just take one arm out to the side and bring it back. See if you can take just the other arm out to the side and bring it back, and then place your hands down. Lower your foot down, and then see if you can lift up the other leg, the one you didn't lift before. Bring it up. Pull your back into the roller, lift up one arm, lift up the other arm. Right. Pull your back into the roller, let both arms go out. You're really concentrating now. And together. And again. And together. Now just one arm, doesn't matter which one it is, open and back. Focus on pulling your ribs down, everybody. And the other arm and back. And focus on the foot on the floor, that's what's holding you up. Lower your foot down, lower your arms down. Okay, you're going to roll off your roller and just take a moment to lie on your mat. Lying on the mat. Give your hips a little wiggle, and you should feel a bit more open through your ribs as you do that. Right, I'd like you to put the roller just underneath the back of your legs, so underneath your ankles, so that you've got a sense of the legs being pulled out from behind behind or underneath you or out of the hip sockets. I'd like you to take your weights in your hands. Okay, so this is a little bit of abdominal work we're going to do without the roller. So I want you to have a sense, first of all, that you're being pulled into a neutral spine, what we call a neutral spine. In other words, your pelvis isn't tilted backwards, the bottom of your ribs are down, but you've got that small gap that's just behind your pelvis. And you're going to make as if you've got whatever weights you've got, your tins or your bottles or your weights, pretend you've got one. Bring them together as if they're glued together. You're going to reach back, and then as you breathe out and the weights come past your nose, I want you to curl forward. So curl forward, and imagine the roller is actually rolling. Well, it is. It's slightly rolling towards you as you bring your shoulder blades right off the floor. But whatever you do, don't get your legs to come off the roller. Push them into the roller, and then roll down and bring your arms up. So then we call this chopping wood. You're going to breathe out, you're going to curl forward, and you're going to chop across your hips, and then you're going to roll down. And you're going to do two more. So your head comes forward really far, your shoulders come forward, you're almost coming off your back, roll down. And again, breathe out. And breathe in. Okay, now we're chopping to the left. So as we bring the arms across the body, look at your weights. Roll down. Now we're going to the right. As we breathe out and lower the weights. Breathe in back. Now we're going to the middle. Exhale forward. And roll back. Now we're going to the left again. Drop the head and keep square through your shoulders, guys. No twisting. And up. And now to the right. Round. Okay, now we're going to take the weights up. Square them off so that they're just above our foreheads. And we're going to slowly roll towards one shoulder blade. So it's as if I'm sort of rolling onto one side. Then lower the weights down towards our waist. Then lift up and roll across to the other side. Across the back of your pelvis. Send the weights up. Circle them. And bring them up overhead. Okay, so this is a sort of a side bend and a rotation. So if you want to come with me again, we're going the other way. We're going to roll in this position as we lower the weights, and as we curl forward, we're rolling towards the shoulder blade. So the other shoulder blade comes away from the floor. Then we're pushing the weights down towards the roller, lifting them across our lap, taking them across the other side, so you're rolling onto the other hip, then lifting the arms up, then bringing them back to square. All right, let's do that again. So take them to the side and start to lower them. As you look at your weights, lift your head. Roll onto that shoulder blade and start to turn your body. You should be off your shoulder blades now. Cross onto the other side. Lift and square off. So you want to feel like a pipe that's rolling on its side, like that you are the roller. So take the weights to one side, roll onto that shoulder blade. The other one comes away from the floor. Roll forward. Can you get your shoulder blades off the ground? Bring it back to center. You're going to the other side now. Bring your arms back. And just bring the hands back and lower your weights down onto the floor. Roll your roller towards you. And just take it out. Once again, just place your feet down on the floor and just have a little rock from side to side. So you're just allowing your back to release a little bit. Okay. Now we're going to place the roller behind our shoulders. So if anybody hates having a roller, because we're going to do a little bit of extension, something hard like a roller, you can always use your ball. So don't use so just have it, the ball, if you have it, just have it on your bra strap line. But at the moment we're going to put the roller just on our bra strap line. And we're just sitting upright. Right, take your hands behind your head to support your head. Okay, so just a little arch over the roller. Find a comfier place if you're hitting something uncomfortable. Just let the back go. Small arch over your roller. And then pull your ribs in and just curl forward. Alright, so let's do 3 of those, just small. Breathe in. And breathe out. And again, inhale. And exhale. Okay, pull your elbows wide. Now we're going to twist the upper body. Try and keep your hips pretty square on, so that you're rolling onto the bottom of one shoulder blade, keeping your elbows wide and just twisting. So you're getting into a stretch from your elbow down to your hip, but you're putting quite a lot of pressure into your ribs. You're opening the ribs, and then you're rolling across the back of the bra strap line. Imagine the bra strap line as your marker. You're going to roll onto the other side, almost under your armpit, and you're going to twist in the other direction. So you're putting pressure into the ribs, we're opening out the intercostal muscles, and across. So you're not having a lot of forward flexion, you're just neutral. You're lying on the roller to do this. Try not to arch over it behind you. You're just going to keep your back sort of flattish. And then bring yourself back to the central position. And let your back arch a little bit again. And once again, curl forward. Now, from here, the curl forward is really, really important. You don't want to be arched in this position. Bring your feet in, lift your bottom off the floor, and then roll the roller across the shoulder blades. So I'm pushing my knees forward, and then roll the roller up to the bottom of your ribs towards your kidney area, but don't let it, you don't really want it to hit your kidneys, it's not very comfy. And then massage across the shoulders, and roll it to massage all the way down the ribs. Just do one more. Just get that feeling of pummeling. And then bring yourself all the way back and just lower your tailbone down. And then we're going to, once again, come off the roller, but put your head, your neck on the roller. So if I mark where the roller must be, it's underneath the base of the skull, not on the vertebra of the neck, just here. So you have your actual neck quite free, and you feel it's just on the bony part of the skull. So what the sensation that you want to feel is that it's making your chin drop down towards your throat. And from there, roll your head to look to the side. So you're rolling along the muscles at the base of the skull towards your ear. And you'll find that ridge goes slightly up in the middle and then drops down towards the back of your ear as you roll. Now, if you're holding either end of your roller, what this is going to do is keep your shoulders down so that you lengthen out the muscles between your back of your ear and the top of your shoulders, so that you get a sense of lengthening, possibly deep underneath your shoulder blade as well. I'm not sure where everybody feels this, but I can certainly feel this tension pulling down from my neck almost into the edges of my shoulder blades in my back. So we're just releasing tension, fascia. And you want one more roll across there. And then all you do is you push your roller away. Just let your head drop onto the floor or onto your cushion, whatever you've got. And just turn your head gently side to side and see whether that's made a little bit of a difference to your liberated neck. Just bring it side to side. And then you're going to roll onto one side and we're going to come up into a seated position. And we're going to do some side work, side bending. So if you take your roller here. Now, we were playing around with this in the class yesterday, that we're not going to have this knee bent like that. We're just going to let the leg relax out in that position. This knee is going to be bent. Or you can move between the two positions. It's quite hard for some people to sit in this position. Or you can have a cushion under your knee or whatever you wish. Your other hand, this leg's slightly forward. It's not pulled right back at this stage. So you're going to have your hand on the roller, and we're going to take ourselves right out into a long side stretch. And this is working underneath your armpit as well. And then stretch your leg out. And then roll the roller back, and you can slightly bend your knee, or you bring your leg back to this position. Now, before you all go shooting off doing side bends, I want you to feel, first of all, that as you roll the roller away, you are rolling your big toe joint towards the floor. So you're internally rotating your hip. And as you come back, you're rolling your big toe joint towards the ceiling. Okay, so we're going roll the leg in and stretch. And roll the leg back and open. Okay, so that sense of liberating the hip as we work through the femur. And then feel that your toe is rotating towards the ceiling and you're turning in your hip joint. So you're plonking yourself back down onto your bum. Okay, so rotate again and reach. Do it on the floor. If your roller feels too uncomfortable, just slide your hand along the floor. And then rotate to bring your toe towards the ceiling and swap sides. Okay, so the leg does that movement and moves you into your hip. If it's very tight, it may take quite a while to sort of get that movement into your hip, but it is a really, really healthy move. Okay, so off we go, and as I rotate my toe towards the floor, this side feels so much easier. And then rotate it up and try and sit down on your bum. And roll. And think of the foot turning first. The ankle, the knee, and back. Lovely. Can you do two more? So really use that leg. Roll your knee towards the floor. Beautiful. That looks great. And up. Good. Last one. Inhale and exhale, bring your leg back. Well done. And just take your legs forward. Give everything a bit of a wiggly, 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 wiggly with your legs. Okay, so I'm going to give you a little bit of time. We're going to kneel. If you need anything under your knees, just set yourselves up. So you've got some pad. If your knees are sore, just put a little bit of padding under your knees. And we're going to have our hands on top of the roller. Okay. So this exercise, what we're going to do now, initially anyway, is to try and liberate this area of our hips. We all do tend to get a bit jammed up in here. You know, these muscles get so well developed that actually a lot of pain in lower back problems happen because we're not actually moving freely through this joint. So this is the junction of the femur and the hip, and all these thigh muscles fit in to that joint and that area, and they can kind of stop you moving freely. So the idea is that you keep your back flat. Okay, so I've got a soft weight, and I know not everybody has got one. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put that weight on my back. I wouldn't do this with a tin of beans, but you don't need a weight. But this just gives me a little bit of feedback about my spine. My spine's in neutral, my tummy's drawing up. So I'm not trying to round my lower back. And then what I'm going to do is just roll the roller forward and try and crease into the hip joint. Now you'll soon discover that if your thighs are very tight, what happens is your back starts to curve and the ball starts to move towards your tail. Then you stop. And then just push into your knees and bring the whole shape back up again. So try and be very relaxed through your hip joint as you send your tailbone back, back, back. See if you can reach your arms forward a little bit more. And then push into your knees and roll the roller back. So very, very, very small movements, but try and keep everything even. And then bring your roller back to center. Excellent. Okay, take your weight off your back now. And then have the roller in towards you and round your back up. And uncurl and reach out with your tail. So please feel that you're pushing the roller down into the floor, that you're not pushing away from you this time, okay? You're kind of holding it as it's got to stay flat on the floor. Okay, so round up into your back and reach out, sending your tailbone back. One more, curl. And reach. Okay, now this is where it gets a little bit more tricky. You're going to tuck your toes underneath you. Press down into your roller and hover your knees off the floor. Okay, if you can't do this, doesn't matter. Just keep your body in the same position. Now round your back up and uncurl. The roller's not moving. Once again, curl. Use your legs to stabilize. Uncurl, send your bottom out, and lower your knees down. Sit back against your heels, reach. Okay, now if this is too hard, the next one, we're going to have the legs straighten the legs this time. Make sure you're right over the roller, otherwise if the roller goes forward, then you lose your stability. So press down, really press and pull your shoulder blades down. Push one heel out and push the other heel out and hold that position. So you're really pressing the roller. Now making sure you're pushing the floor away from you. Just squeeze your bottom muscles, bring your head up in line with your spine, and then keep the one leg where it is and lift the other leg up and place it back down onto the floor and place the other one next to it. Okay, let's do that again. So you push out with one heel, push up, push out with the other heel, hold, press the floor away, and then lift one leg up, bend the knee, place it back down, lift the other leg up, and reach up with your arms and stretch. Excellent, and then into our extensions, stretch out and once again, place your hands on the roller, so wide as possible on your tummy. We're just going to do it with the palms facing downwards. Stretch out, let your shoulders creep up to your ears, so really close to your ears. Then shrug your shoulders away from your ears. Then pull the roller in towards you and just come up a little way. So you pull your shoulder blades down and then roll your roller out. Bring your head down. Okay, so shrug the shoulders down, press down and lift. That's it. And roll the roller out. Make it very small. One more, shrug and up. Beautiful. And then reach away. Okay, everybody just bring the roller in a little bit closer to you so your elbows can drop onto the floor. Right, you're going to keep the elbows down and your hands on the roller and draw your shoulders down, come up into your little extension. So making sure your elbows are still on the floor. Hold that position. So you're pulling your ribs in, lifting up the tummy underneath you, so you've got a real connection into your tummy, your legs are pressing down, and then lift your elbows up and just roll the roller away. Don't come any higher, and then pull the roller in, and roll it out. Very light touch on that roller. And back. Try and keep your back in the same position, your tummy lifted. And then roll the roller in. Last one. Now keep the elbows off the ground. Pull your shoulders down. See if you can come up a little higher. Lovely. And now bend the elbows a little bit. Roll down. And just push your roller away and sit back against your heels. Just rounding your back, letting your elbows drop. Wiggle your hips. Side to side. Tuck your toes underneath you. Roll your spine all the way up. Okay, so if you bring yourself onto your mat, and this is where we do our visualization. So you've still got, it's only been minutes since you've been on the roller, you've still got that sensation of where the roller was behind you. And as you visualize, I want you to visualize that the roller is actually, or was actually, vertical, and then it actually went all the way down to the floor between your, or just behind your heels. And then it went all the way up your spine, right up to the back of your head and beyond. And as you visualize it's still there, draw your ribs in a little bit. Feel your, the back of your spine and that area. Just drawing into the roller, the back of your head growing or sliding slightly higher up that roller. And then your shoulder blades hanging evenly on either side of it. Just dropping down, sliding down your rib cage. So as you draw your rib cage back towards the roller, your shoulder blades have a nice comfortable surface to lie on. And then just roll your neck forward. Roll off the roller. Roll your shoulders forward. Roll that off the roller. Lift the tummy. You're peeling yourself off the roller. However, your tailbone still stays on the roller. Don't let yourself swing backwards or forwards. Lift your tummy. And now I want you to roll back onto your roller, your virtual roller. Pull the lower vertebra down into the roller, then the middle, and then in between your shoulders. Try not to let your ribs flare forward, let your shoulders drop, and bring the back of your head back. And just let everything, just stand for a second. Very relaxed, very open through the back. More space for your intercostals, more space for your lungs, your ribs, and your diaphragm to work better.